Okay, let's get right into it. So I have 3 different things that I'm going to talk about here today. Number 1, different types of diets and why they work. And let's talk about keto, that was asked. The best way to track your calories. And does a calorie deficit have to be every single day, or it can be on average every single week? So I love these questions. Okay. So let's dive right in. So like I said, as I'm talking, if you have any specific clarifying questions about what I'm talking about, please just put it in the comments. Let's have a good old chat. Okay, so someone asked, why do you think there's so many different diets out there, and why do people think they work? Okay, here is the thing. Every single diet works if adhered to, so if followed, okay, because they create a calorie deficit. So what that means is if you follow the set of rules set out in front of you from whatever diet, whether the diet is a meal plan, whether the diet is putting certain amounts of food in a container, whether the diet is counting points, whether your diet is cutting certain food groups out, whether your diet is, there's another one I was thinking, shakes, okay? They all work. Cabbage soup diet. Someone said that. I saw a picture of that the other day. I don't know if I did that or my mom did that. I don't know. Someone I know did that. So they all work because they create, if adhered to, because they create a calorie deficit. Okay. Did you hear the part though, where I said, if adhered to? Ironically, every diet works if adhering to the rules. However, the number 1 reason why people are not successful on diets is because they don't adhere to them. It's not that the diet didn't work in the sense that they did exactly what the diet told them to do and they didn't lose weight. It's that they struggled to follow the rules. Okay? This is like a good moment here. Why do we continue to start diets that we are not successful with? Why do we continue to do it? It is because we are looking for insurance. So if I get it, it's sexy when you look at shakes on the TV and it says, I don't know, are there commercials on TV anymore? You get what I mean. And it says, drink these 3 shakes and lose 30 pounds in 2 months. Sweet. That sounds sexy to me, okay? So I get why people want to start the next shiny thing. Sometimes we also feel discouraged that what we're currently doing isn't really working, and so we want to start over. We want to start with I love that Jose's telling me to save this live. I love you. We want to start over. We want to to erase what happened, not think about it, compartmentalize it, and start fresh because we weren't successful then, okay? That's why we move on to the next diet. But here's the thing. We need to stop looking for the next shiny thing. The next shiny thing is actually in your house. It's in your brain. It's in your value system. It's in your environment. You are the only person that can create the next shiny thing for you, except it's not very shiny at first, okay? Because it's a lot of work. You're going to have to look at what you did in your last diet and say, okay, what piece of that worked for me? Why wasn't I able to follow that? I wasn't able to follow that because I hate counting calories. I wasn't able to follow that because I love chewing my food. I wasn't able to follow that because I didn't find the portions of what I was eating were big enough for me. I couldn't follow that because for whatever reason, you couldn't follow that last diet that you were trying to do. That is exactly what you need to consider when you're creating your new thing, okay? So every single diet works if you adhere to the rules. Everyone is struggling to adhere to the rules because the rules are ridiculous. You need to create your own rules. The only thing that you need to lose weight is a calorie deficit. Now, as scary as that might seem, because it gives you freedom, it gives you ownership. Ball's in your court. I'm handing you the ball right now. And you're like, crap, okay? But, and that's scary. The ball, I just gave you the ball, but you get to decide. That's the best part. So you get to decide which rules work for you. And that's what we do at Your Way Weight Loss. We're going to teach you that what you need to lose weight is a calorie deficit. We are going to give you 7 million strategies, tools, tips, support, inspiration, ideas, everything that you need to build your own set of rules, your own system, your own habits. What you do every single day makes you who you are. Those are your habits. Though if you are right now at a place where you don't want to be with your weight, what is the problem? Is not how many carbs you're eating. It's not that you don't exercise. It's not that you drink wine. Your problem is that you're not in a calorie deficit. So then you get to look at your whole life and you get to look at what makes you you. You get to look at your habits and you get to pick and choose what needs to stay in your life. And then you get to pick and choose what can go. And so that is, I hope that answers your question about different diets. And you know what? It gets me a little bit fired up because marketing is sometimes preying on people's vulnerability and trying to convince them that it's going to be easy. If anyone is trying to convince you that it's going to be easy, you should, if it seems too good to be true, it's too good to be true, okay? Another thing that is sometimes sold to you in the diet industry is that it's gonna be hard, but it's gonna be worth it. You're not gonna stick with it. So we need to find something in between, okay? So we wanna help you create your own rules, create your own system, create your own habits, create your own diet that allows you to be in a calorie deficit. Thank you for saying that was very well said. Appreciate that. So someone brought up keto. Okay, keto is like one of those things that just like keeps coming up. So I just want to say before I really delve into this, that just like anything, you can do it intense in a good way or a bad way. Like you could do keto but only eat bacon, but you could do keto and eat like chicken and spinach. Okay, so there's not just one keto. Okay, that's one thing I want to say. The other thing I want to say is there are certain medical conditions that eating in a keto way has shown to improve your medical conditions, okay? So if that is you, then obviously a conversation with your doctor is well worth it. However, if you're just a regular human like most of us that are trying to find themselves, that are trying to achieve their goals, keto is like any other diet. A keto works because it puts you in a calorie deficit. And I know that people say, oh, no, it doesn't because it puts you in ketosis and then your body moves to fat burning. I want to give you this example, okay? I want you to think about this. If you ate keto friendly, but you consumed 5,000 calories for 7 days straight, would you gain weight? The answer is yes. So keto still works because of a calorie deficit. It cuts out an entire food group. Where keto works different than a lot of other diets is it cuts out carbs. Carbs, when you ingest carbohydrates, you retain water for every gram of carbs that you consume. So when you strip your body of carbohydrates, you lose weight fast. Guess what? You just lost water weight. Our bodies are made up of like 60, maybe more, 80% water. So why keto works so quickly is because you lost mostly water weight. And we're here to lose fat. Now, I would never say don't do keto. I'm not going to say that, actually. I would never tell you what to do or what not to do. There's a reason why Your Way Weight Loss is called Your Way Weight Loss, okay? You are the boss. But I would ask that you ask yourself, is this sustainable? Does this fit in my life? Do I feel good? Is this good for my overall well-being and health? And then you go and do you. And maybe we don't always need a label on our diet. Why does it have to be called, why does it have to have a name? Why do I have to be paleo, vegetarian, vegan, keto? How about I just eat? and it doesn't have a specific name and a specific set of rules, okay? I actually personally, I don't eat keto, but I do eat low carb, high protein. Why? Because I like it. I feel satisfied with it. I enjoy it. It feels easy for me. Those are the reasons. None of it is because I think I'm going to lose weight that way, okay? So thank you for listening to my spiel about other diets. I'm going to go on to the next question, but if you have any questions, put them in the comments. Okay. The next question is about the best way to track your calories, okay? So here is the thing. Because we say calorie deficit, calorie deficit, calorie deficit, calorie deficit, people think that means calorie counting. However, again, I would never say don't track, do track. I would never say that. You are the boss. And I think giving yourself the experience of tracking, not tracking is amazing in itself. Okay. And there's so much power in knowledge and awareness. So at Your Way Weight Loss, some of our members track, some of our members don't track. So our members stay with us for years. So they go through cycles. I'm tracking now, I'm not tracking. It's not good, it's not bad. It's what works for them at that time in their life. Okay, so, I was gonna say one point, it's gone from my brain. Tracking, not good or bad, part of your life, knowledge and awareness, okay? I cannot express enough to you the power of being aware of what you're consuming and how much you're consuming. So I would never just say, you don't need to track, you don't need to know how many calories is in that, just listen to your body. I think that is too fluffy. I think most people would really struggle to be successful with that. What I am saying though is I do not believe that you need to target a specific number of calories to consume every single day in order to lose weight. I do think you need a level of knowledge and education when it comes to what you're eating and how much you're eating. Do I think you need to weigh your lettuce? Absolutely not. Okay. Do I think it's worth you being aware of what 4 ounces of chicken looks like? 4 ounces of lean ground beef? Absolutely. Do I think you should have an idea of what 30 grams of cheese looks like? Yes. Do I think when you go to Starbucks, you should have an idea of how many calories is in your venti frappuccino with whipped cream and caramel on top? Yes. Okay. So there's a difference between fluffy, listen to your body and, and go for it, and tracking every single thing that goes in your mouth. Let me just explain to you why the negatives of tracking, okay, for me. Now, I tracked for years, and I do believe it gave me a foundation to know about portions and calorie density. It gave me so much knowledge. That's where I see the power of it, okay? However, here is the thing. Often people do it wrong. I'm sorry, guys, but if you're going to commit to tracking, you need to commit to, if you're using tracking as your main tool to be in a calorie deficit, you need to commit to tracking 80-90% of what goes in your mouth. That includes weekends. That includes what you're drinking. That includes the extra bites while you're cooking. Okay? That includes weighing and measuring your food. That includes taking a recipe. When I make chili for my family, I do not want to take the time to write down every single last thing I put in my pot, then try and figure out how many scoops are in the pot, okay? I don't want to do that. That is too much for me. So that's a part of tracking, is it can be really overwhelming for people, especially people that love to cook, especially people that love variety in what they're eating. Tracking can be really overwhelming, okay? So unless you're willing to really weigh, measure, and dedicate it, it might not be the first step, okay? Processed food. We tend to rely more on packaged food when we're tracking because it's easy. Do not underestimate the power of convenience. We love convenience. I love convenience. I'll pay double for something if it's more convenient for me, okay? So often when you're tracking, processed food is easier. Also, let's talk about processed food. It's not exactly 100 calories. It could be 120 calories in that thing, Okay, there's a rule, and it's only about it has to be accurate up to 20%. So there is some level of error in processed food, and ironically, you're choosing processed food because you want it to be easy for you to track. Hunger. I think when we're aiming for a specific number for a specific day, we're not spending enough time being in touch with our hunger. And just eating, I have an extra 200 calories left, but I'm not hungry, but I'm going to eat it. And then the next day, I'm starving, but I'm going to suffer through because my fitness pal said I could only eat 1,300 calories. Okay? So I don't think it leaves enough leeway. I think it's hard to live your real life when you're tracking everything. It's really hard to go to a potluck, not that there's many potlucks right now, but you know what I mean, to go to social events, to go out to eat, to all this stuff. Okay? So I just want you to be aware of the good is the knowledge and the education that comes out of it. That's the good, and that's amazing, and I'm not undervaluing that. The bad is all the other things that I listed. So, you have to be pretty committed to it. It is a large time commitment to track your food. You tend to rely more on processed food. Maybe you're not listening to your hunger cues as much. It's hard to live your real life a little bit more, okay? That's a piece. Here's the other piece. Are you ready for this? I, to my core, do not believe it's necessary. So it's not oh yeah, this is sucky, but it's what I have to do, okay? That's I don't know, you want to be a doctor, okay? You want to be a doctor? You're going to have to go to school for a long time. And if you don't love school, that might seem sucky to you. You're going to have lots of debt, okay? But that's what you have to do to be a doctor. There's really no way around it, okay? To be a doctor, you need to go to school for a long time and spend a lot of money at school. I truly believe to lose weight, you do not need to track your calories. So this is why I want people to try it without. Just try it, okay? But don't go in blind. Create awareness for yourself. Measure some things. Weigh your meat. Educate yourself when you're going to, going somewhere else. Educate yourself. So I'll just tell you quickly, when you join your weight loss, there's so many resources. The best, how could I pick one? One I love is the 7-Day Lifestyle Challenge. And it is just 7 days that you write every single thing down that you ate for 7 days. Every single thing. Imagine that, okay? Also, let's talk about those extra bites. How many of you guys take extra bites? If you are a mother and you don't take extra bites, we can't be mom friends. A little bite of the craft dinner, a little bite of the grilled cheese, you're cooking dinner, you gotta see if the mashed potatoes are salty enough. When you're tracking, unless you're tracking those, you're putting all this energy and focus into something that isn't even accurate. And then the number you're aiming for is based on another estimation. Okay, I'm going to get off that train here in a minute. So the 7-day lifestyle, okay, the 7-day lifestyle challenge is amazing. You write down everything you eat for 7 days, and then you really focus on your habits and looking for your triggers about your habits, okay? So, I noticed that I'm overeating at supper time. And there's also prompting questions, were you ever really hungry? I was starving. Okay, well then the problem isn't supper time. The problem is that you're going into supper time starving. So let's fix that. Tracking your total number of calories eaten at supper isn't necessary to eat less at supper. It's to not go into supper starving. So we give you an extra snack. So we are really focusing on your behaviors and your habits. That's where we are going to change your life for good. We are going to change the way you think. We're going to change the way you act, and then we're going to change your habits. And then you will actually be able to achieve your goals in a way that you didn't even realize was possible. I love when members tell us, they're like, I lost 2 pounds and it wasn't even that hard. It's like we think weight loss has to be so hard. We think weight loss has to be so hard. We think we have to be hungry and deprived and miserable in order to lose weight. And again, that is not the case. So that's my spiel on tracking. Again, if you track, you don't need to feel bad for tracking after I'm having this conversation with you. It is important that we talk about the pros and the cons to tracking. There is pros and cons to everything. And I, again, just want to reiterate the power of awareness and knowledge and educating yourself. However, I do not believe that you need to aim for a specific total number of calories every single day like a robot. I think you need to include your happiness, your life, your hunger, your preferences in when you are making your choices. And MyFitnessPal does not care if you're happy. Actually, MyFitnessPal is mean. MyFitnessPal is going to give you a very stingy amount of calories. Sure, you'll lose 2 pounds this week. You will also be grumpy. Okay? So maybe we want to lose 1 pound and not feel grumpy. Just saying, it's possible. Okay, I'm going to go to my last thing, and then I'll scroll through the questions. Feel free to keep popping in things. I see people are commenting. I'm loving it. I'm here for it. I'm enjoying it. Calorie deficit. So we just talked, we had a great talk just now about calorie deficit. So what is it? A calorie deficit is simply less calories in than are going out. It's as simple as that. And that is how every single diet works. That's how MyFitnessPal works. That's how tracking your calories works. Okay. If you do it right, if you adhere to it, it's coming full circle right here. I want to just quickly say calories in is really simple. It's what you're eating, what you're consuming, food and drink. Calories out though, some people think that means exercise. It does not. Calories out is actually a very small amount of total calories burned in the run of a day. Most of your calories burned in the run of a day literally just come from your organ function. Your brain, your liver, your whatever, okay? So organ function, food digestion is a big part of your calories out in the run of a day. Meat, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So basically me doing my laundry, me being a mom, me cooking dinner, me walking to the car to go pick up the kids. All of those things burn calories. So and exercise on top of that. Okay. So you do not need to exercise to be in a calorie deficit at all. You simply need to be less calories in than out. Done. Okay, so we have said you don't need to be in a calorie deficit every single day. People are like, well, what do you mean? You don't have to be in a calorie deficit every single day. I want you guys to think of it as a budget, okay? And the best way to look at it is on a weekly basis. A week gives us time to have our weekends. It gives us time to have a good amount of data. It gives us time to live our lives. So look at your budget for a week. Let's talk about money. So people struggle with looking at calories in a tangible way because they're not tangible. I mean, they're energy, right? Calories is how much energy. When I consume 100 calories, how much energy I would have to export to get rid of those 100 is what a calorie is. So, calories out, budget. That's hard. That's hard for our brains. Calories out, where does it go? It's in the air. Am I breathing it? Where is it? Am I sweating it out? Where is it? I want you to think of a budget. So if I said to you, you have $2,000 for this week. Buzzy, go for it. Spend your $2,000. No matter what you spend your $2,000 on, no matter how much you spend on Monday, if you are still under $2,000 at the end of the week, then you have achieved your budget. You are in a calorie deficit. So this gives you freedom to have a little bit more fun on the weekend. It also gives you freedom to, on the days you're not as hungry, to eat a little bit less. Okay? Remember, calorie deficit also gives you freedom to eat a donut. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's not bad. It can be, a donut can certainly be a part of your calorie deficit. Okay? So you really, in order to lose weight, you just need to be on average a calorie deficit over the week. That's it. I hope that helps. I hope that answered all your questions. I enjoyed that. Obviously, you could tell that I get all fired up and all passionate about all of these things. Do you know why, though? I just want the world to know that it doesn't have to be so hard, that you don't have to be miserable, that you don't have to give up all the food that you love. That's the first thing. Oh, I just spit it. That's the first thing that people do when they join a weight loss program or join a diet. They like give up everything they love. They're like, oh, gotta lose weight, gotta cut out fat, gotta cut out wine and chocolate. Is that a world worth living? One without wine and chocolate? Absolutely not. I refuse. Okay, I refuse. Yes, money is a really good analogy. And the same thing, it goes with quality. So if I gave you money, if I gave you $1,000 and sent you to the mall, and I said, you're going to buy leggings, or maybe I said you gave you $100 and I said, you're going to go buy leggings. You could buy one pair of Lulu, maybe with $100, or maybe you go to Walmart and buy 4 pairs. And it is the same thing with your food. You could choose, if I give you 100 calories, you can choose, I don't know, a Fiber One brownie, or you can choose 4 cups of lettuce. I don't even know if that's 100 calories, maybe 6 cups of lettuce. They're both 100 calories. I am not saying they are nutritionally equal, but they are equal in calories. You are the boss of how you spend your budget.